a question for you. How many pop stars can boast that they've been not just in one chart-topping band, but two, and had a successful solo career as well? Not many.
Paul Heaton has done just that. New album tour on the way now. We'll chat to him in just a moment. Here's some of his new music and some of the hits.
What a good place to be. Don't believe I speak a different language and it's never really happened to me. Don't believe I...
And Paul's here. I don't like it, Paul, when we cut off your music just like that. It's like there it was, we were listening to all those lovely songs and then suddenly, whew, they're gone.
Yeah, it reminds me of home where if I put anything of mine on, it just gets taken off very quickly.
Who does that?
Daughters, wife, anybody who's passing through.
Do you go round going, shall we listen to some of my music
No, I don't
now?
actually. To be fair, I do have an intensive time after the album's finished of listening to it, and then I don't touch it again, so...
So, are there any songs... Because obviously we heard some ones there that everyone's like, oh, yeah, I remember that, And I used to know all the words to them. Where they just go, this is never allowed to be played in the house again.
No, but I mean, genuinely, there isn't much of my music in the house anyway. We tend to... we tend to listen to other stuff, but I've got songs that I probably wouldn't listen to where I sound a bit twee or...
Go on.
No, I can't...
Your songs?
Yeah, just...
Oh, go on, just one. And then you can tell me the one you really, really are proud of.
I'm proud of all of them, but there's ones where it's just the sound of my voice. I can't think of one off the top of my head, because it might be somebody's favourite at home. But there's times when where I try to sound sort of soulful and I just sound like a little kid barking. Yeah, that sort of thing.
You're going to have to tell us off air which one it is.
I think that is there a sort of nostalgic feel to the new album? A little bit of melancholy, sort of thinking about how things could be a bit better. That's the feeling I'm getting.
Yeah, I think there always is with my writing. I always seem quite melancholy, and then when you meet me, I'm the opposite sort of thing. But I think... yeah, with these lyrics, I probably get myself into a bit of a melancholy state when I'm writing the lyrics. The music is supposed to sound more joyous and more, you know, melodic, I suppose.
OK, help us with the writing bit then. Where are you when these sort of melancholy lyrics are coming out? Where are you? What's occurring?
I'm away in Holland with my wife. We're cycling from pub to pub. We pick a small town in Holland. We don't go to the cities. And we'll cycle out and I'll find somewhere on my phone and say, that looks quite nice. And we'll cycle out there and I'll sit there for 2 or 3 hours, drinking, and Linda's reading. And then she says, you should go home now because we have to cycle and don't want to cycle. But also you've reached that point where, you know, you don't want to write anymore. And it's really, really enjoyable process. Yeah, I absolutely love doing it.
It's fascinating. Pub culture has woven into your life because we've spoken about it a lot. I'm interested, we're going to hear it, and then I'm interested in fish and chips as well, how this plays into it. Let's have a listen.
He bought her a fish and chip supper for what he had done in the day.
How did you get... I always call her Kunk. No, how did you get... What's her name?
Diane Morgan.
Diane Morgan, that's it. How did you get Diane Morgan in on that?
Just contacted her and asked her... I think we follow each other on social media and just thought I'll try and persuade her. And she did it, and she was brilliant, and as was Pierce as well, who was in it. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, so fish and chips... It's almost like you get inspiration from the everyday.
Yeah, I mean, that particular song was sort of about the journey we make through life via a small scenario of I'm just going out to get you fish and chips and then getting distracted on the way home and finally arriving and perhaps being forgiven and
for
getting
being
back
late.
to... Yeah, for being late.
I was talking about how pubs intertwine with your life, and you've done things like... I think when you turned 60,
yes.
I'd say that, you know, you put some money behind the bar for people in pubs and everything like that. You've always kind of been very much that the fans, there needs to be some affordability to and access to music. Yeah. You'll be very aware, dynamic pricing has come into the fore now after the sale of Oasis tickets, but also generally, you know, and just how music fans, whether there is a barrier now. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, there won't be any dynamic pricing associated with my tickets.
And you have control over that, do you?
I have control over that. Although I'm not blaming other artists, I think if you want control of that, you have to sort of be at the meeting. You know, the meetings to decide ticket prices, you know, the actual amount it costs, whether there's dynamic pricing.
So you're part of those, usually,
I'm part of those, and there's the promoter there, my manager there, and there's me. And obviously, I represent myself and my musicians, but I also feel as though fans aren't represented there. So when I go there, I always think of people I know, could they afford tickets? So I also argue low quite often, and the promoter will argue a bit higher. And it's the same with everything. If you want a good deal for your fans, you've got to be in the room. And it's the same with T-shirts, for example, you know, which are on sale at concerts. I make sure they're not 70 or 80 quid. To do that, you've got to be at the meeting. That's all I say. I'm not, you know, calling anybody out for it, but the more involved you are in those sort of processes, the more likely you are to be able to keep the price down.
I like pootling around on my bicycle. Could I just tag along when... You know, I like the idea of your trip in Holland. Would it matter if you just had someone else just...
It would be an absolute pleasure, and it's...
Go slowly? Do you go...
Yeah, really slowly, yeah.
I like that.
And stop as well at Ventures
better
and
and
have a look, yeah. And
throw a cheese and pickle sandwich in and you're
sandwiches,
sold.
do you take any, or you stop and have something as you go?
Stop it and have, you know, like a toasted sandwich or something like that. But cheese and pickle sounds like a good addition to me. I think I might...
I'm completely on board this project.
It's really, really good fun. I'd recommend other people do it as well, you know, because it's not the lyric writing, that's the painful side.
Who knows, it might inspire
people. It could inspire yourself, yeah.
I can picture it now.
There's a new
I can
duo.
the two, you and your wife's trying to get rid of, going a bit. Oh, he's still there. Turn left.
No, we wouldn't try to lose you, honestly.
I think you might.
You're being too nice. You're
Yeah.
being too
It's
nice.
been
Paul
lovely
Heaton,
having you here
it's
today.
always a joy having
Thank
you on
you
the
for having me
sofa.
on.
Thank you.
Great to see you, thanks.
Paul's new album, The Mighty Several, is out tomorrow.